Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to the Untitled NBA Basketball Show. So, NBA playoffs are going on. We in the round one to making this video. We got the offseason coming up. Well, you know, for some teams out there, they're getting eliminated. And when it comes down to it, there's so many talking points and so many interesting storylines are developing. I just can't help myself, man. But, you know, to bring back the NBA discussion type of things up in here. So, before we get going on this video, we're going to start a new little thing up in here, man. I have collected a guy by the name of Damian Lillard. Now, Damian Lillard straight up has been loyal to the Portland Trailblazers, man, for his entire NBA career. So we are going to put Damian Lillard right there. He fell down, man. He had an injury, okay? Injuries happen, just like it did to Damian. He'll be back, though, man. We'll be back. We can put Damian right there, man. For every 10,000 subscribers I get going forward, I'm going to add one member to Damian's team. Help this man build a championship team here, man. Okay, 10,000 subscribers. I thought, you know, because we do like every 100, that's just going to get filled up real quick, man. Like, real quick. Like, that's going to be, you know, just flying out of the walls at that point, right? But alrighty, okay, man. Enough about that. Let's talk about Jalen Brunson and why this man has been so impressive. Hey, Alexa, how many points is Jalen Brunson scoring in the playoffs?
Here's something I found on the web.
Let's hear it.
According to MavsMoneyball.com.
Okay.
In the only playoff series he's played in his career last season against the Clippers, Brunson averaged only 8 points in 16.3 minutes per game, shooting 45% from the floor.
That is not what I asked. But, man, it does lead us into something else, man. It does lead us to think about, like, okay, that's what he did last year. What's Jalen Brunson doing this year, man? And I got the answers right here on my phone, because, you know, the damn AIs, you actually, Alexa, I love you. Do not destroy me when robots take over the world.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I bet you ain't. Okay. So, man, we got Jalen Brunson on the NBA season right here. Regular season stats, he put up a healthy 16 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds per game. And you don't mind if I take a little seat right here, actually, bro? Because, you know, I mean, legs get tired, you know what I'm saying, man? Okay, so, yeah, we got him doing that in the regular season. Playoff basketball, this is through 4 games of the first round. He's averaging 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists per game, man. And, you know, when it comes down to it, when I think of Jalen Brunson, I think about him in kind of like where he came from in college. So, you know, in college, he was, I believe, the 2018 College Player of the Year. He played for Villanova. And, I mean, he was just like a winner. He was the definition of a smart college basketball player. Because I will say, man, if you're not like a one-and-done, athletically gifted type of player going into college, you got to at least be smart. Because, you know, a lot of these great college systems is because the players are intelligent, and, you know, you will see players have this great college success, but then go to the NBA and it's like, well, it is more athletically based and everything like that, and they don't really see as much success then, man. That's not the case at all for Jalen Brunson. So what I absolutely love about Jalen Brunson, you know, he is a 6'1" player. So you see 6'1", and you're like, oh, okay, like those players don't always work out. But the thing about Jalen is, for one, I absolutely love that he's a lefty, man. Like, something about them lefty players, you know, the Manu Ginobili's up in there, just a little, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love lefty players. I think every team should at least have 1 or 2 lefties. I think about it similarly to, like, you know, the pitcher's rotation in a baseball game, which I personally have not watched a baseball game in a long time, but I do know that, you know, lefties are used as specialty players. I don't think it matters as much for the NBA, but I think in the back of, like, defenders' minds, when you're guarding a lefty player, you know, you got to think about it just a little bit, man. And just that little bit right there can help out a player like Jalen Brunson, who's a bit on the shorter side. But when I also think about Jalen Brunson, I think about, you know, some of the players that are similar in size to him, either current or in the past, that have seen pretty good success. And, you know, I think they all got a big thing in common here, man. You know, big thing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to get to it, okay? So, I look at maybe, I would say, like, the best comparison I have for Jalen Brunson, the style and how he uses his body, would be similar to Isaiah Thomas from the Boston Celtics, you know, the season where he averaged about 30 points per game, which is essentially what Jalen Brunson's doing right now with the playoffs and making this video, right, man? So, you know, I think about that. And he's somebody that uses his lower body to his advantage. That's actually why Isaiah Thomas fell off big time, is because, you know, when you're a small player, you need to at least be strong. You need to be a bulldog up in there. And when Isaiah Thomas got injured, I believe he had the hip flexor injury. He just never got that lower body athleticism back that gave him the advantage to get into the basket and everything like that. And you'll see that with Jalen Brunson now, man. Every time he attacks the basket, he does it in a way, and this is kind of what the Manu Ginobili lefty comparison comes back down to, where he's, you know, dribbling to the basket, but he's able to protect that thing. He's able to use his body and just go left, right, and put that thing up there, man. So, yeah, it's so important. Like, and obviously, a lot of that comes down to practice and working hard and wanting to be a great player. And that's what Jalen Brunson's doing. Like, if you're not athletically gifted, you got to work 10 times as hard, if not 100 times harder than the other players out there, man. But there's also, you look at the other side of the spectrum, how many great, I guess I shouldn't say great. Okay, how many greatly potential NBA bodies have we seen out there? And then it's just like they get to the NBA and they don't have that hard work drive, you know, that hard work ethic or that drive to be great. We've seen that happen tons of times in the NBA, right, man? Like, that's essentially what a bust is. It's just you didn't live up to what your body told the scouts. It's like, wow, this guy's going to be average 20 blocks per game. And he gets there, he got no skill set for defense, so he averages 6 fouls a game and he's gone. Who's that player? I don't have one specifically. I guess maybe I can think of like, who the one dude? What was his name, man? Memphis Grizzlies, Hasheem Thabeet. That's who I think of instantly, okay, man? Or maybe even on like a lesser skill, like a Derek Williams. I believe he was drafted by, was it the T-Wolves? He was like number 2 overall or something like that. Had a great NBA body, great in college. Didn't have the skill set to really match in the NBA, right? Alrighty, so this is where it gets kind of interesting about Jalen. During the regular season, the Dallas Mavericks literally offered this man a 4-year, $55 million contract, which, you know, that's a lot of money. You know, you and I, that's a lot of money. For what Jalen Brunson's been like, productive by each season. I think last year he averaged like 13 points per game. He got that up to like 17 points per game. Pretty much every single season he's improved in some aspect. Now really seen him blossoming, in the playoffs. So, I mean, $55 million for an extension, I would say at the time that made sense, but that ship has sailed. It actually went on the record that Jalen Brunson's dad, who actually used to play in the NBA, said, like, nope, no discounts. Like, that was declined. Jalen believed in himself, which at the same side, that's big and risky too. Like, Jalen could have got injured and, knock on wood right there. Still a possibility, but also I do believe in, to an extent too, you have to know your worth. And if Jalen believes that he's, worth more than $55 million and his game's proving it, then I think that's something to be said about that. So, yeah, man, as opposed, but I look at guys like DeMarcus Cousins too, who just like had like so many bad injuries and stuff like that, just completely derailed his career. But you can't predict injuries, you can't live your life in fear, and you can't, miss out on opportunities, but also like knowing your worth and everything just by being afraid of what could happen, right? I mean, there's like insurance and stuff like that out there. Okay, so who's going to get Jalen Brunson this offseason? Is he going to stay on the Dallas Mavericks? There's been a few rumors about him, man, as far as just like he's going to get an absolute bag. How much money are, the teams like the Mavericks willing to pay him, especially when you got the Mavericks who, obviously Luka's not been playing and stuff, and that's allowed for a higher usage of Jalen Brunson. So how are those guys going to fit together in the long term? But also, is that going to be enough financially to make things work? Because you also look at the Mavericks who have like Spencer Dinwiddie on the team too. And I mean, that's 3 great guards right there. Now, essentially, Luka can play the small forward position. Brunson, I think, is bulldogish enough to play, the 2 spot consistently. Dinwiddie, who I like more as a natural point guard, but to be honest, I like him more as a 6-man point guard, to be honest. I mean, you could do a 3-guard lineup at times with that too. I just don't know if, like, financially, if the Mavericks are going to want to, like, take the team in a different direction or pay Jalen Brunson star money, but also know that what he does on the court could be negated by when Luka Doncic returns. Like, it's a lot. So, I think the Mavericks have the best chance of getting him back, but there's 4 teams. And there's definitely more that could use Jalen Brunson. But these are 4 teams that kind of get in my mind. Number 1, this is kind of a big rumor that's been going around as far as the team that's going to throw the bag at them. That's actually my favorite basketball team, the Detroit Pistons. So, yeah, the idea is that Jalen and Luka, like, that works together as a backcourt. So they're like, well, Cade Cunningham, whose play style, I'm not saying he's as good as him, but whose play style has been compared to Luka Doncic. Like, that just seems to work. Right now, we don't really know what the Pistons are going to do in the draft, but based off the current roster, the big hope was Killian Hayes and Cade Cunningham in the backcourt. And I mean, I like Killian Hayes. I think he definitely has an application in the NBA. I think he has a role. I don't think he has that aggression. I don't think he has that bulldog grit and grind factor that Jalen Brunson has who's going to put his head down and get you a clutch basket. Jalen Brunson does not play scared one bit. I absolutely love that. He has a competitive nature to him that just really like resonates with me in Detroit basketball, and I would love to see him next to Cade. I would love to, man. So, yeah, that's one team. Another team I have that I think could definitely use his spark and his grit and grind would be the New York Knicks. As far as I know, man, I'm looking back and like the Knicks have not really had an answer for the point guard spot in a very, very long time. Now, I like Emmanuel quickly. I like him more as a 2-guard in the NBA personally, and even as a full-time starter. I mean, yes, that could be a thing, but I like what he can bring off the bench position too, so that's fine. But the idea of RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson seems kind of intriguing to me. I love sign-in trades. So, you know, looking at the two teams so far, like the Pistons could do like a sign trade of like Jeremy Grant, get him on the Dallas Mavericks, do something along those lines. For the New York Knicks, I know there's been interest in the Mavericks getting Julius Randle in the past. I don't know if that interest is still there, but that's definitely a possibility, something along those lines. Not saying that's an exact trade, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then two teams where I definitely don't think this is happening, but it's like, kind of makes sense to me, is I think the Phoenix Suns. If the Suns don't get to the point this year, and, you know, Devin Booker's injury sucks and everything, but, you know, you almost to an extent have to start looking forward to the future and the point guard position. And the idea of Jalen Brunson with Devin Booker just really excites me. And once again, you know, I don't know what the Mavericks, I mean, I guess the Mavericks' short-term plans are a championship. But once again, man, like a sign trade of CP3 to the Mavericks, play with Luka for a season or two, seems kind of interesting. I don't know if that's going to get it done, though, because also the contract, so you got to make that all work. But that's what you can do about a sign trade contract. You can sign it, make a match, and then do it that way, right? And then another one definitely will not happen. Actually involves this man right here. And that's just assuming that the Portland Trailblazers decide they want to cash in, and maybe they do some crazy trade with the Mavericks, and they get Jalen Brunson over the Portland Trailblazers to be the backcourt of the future without Fernie Simons. That seems kind of interesting too, man. But you guys let me know in the comment section below. What exactly do you think is going to happen with Jalen Brunson this NBA offseason? You think he stays in the Mavericks, or you think he's gone, man? But yes, hopefully you guys are all enjoying this type of talk show thing. I don't know. Spent like all morning working around the studio. I think it looks pretty good, man. But definitely always would love your guys' feedback on it. So thank you all so much for watching, and peace out. I'm not going to throw the basketball at the camera for my outro. I can do it like once, but not all the time.